privilege serving as president here of WKCTC. I want to offer a welcome certainly to all of you here in the audience, community leaders, teachers, faculty, staff, and students. Some obviously there virtually, and certainly to our virtual community watching online as we continue this incredible journey of celebration here at WKCTC. You will note at your tables, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary as a consolidated college. Today's event, as we celebrate the ribbon cutting for this Education Discovery Center, is one of the cornerstones of that celebration here at the college. You know, definitely as we continue the celebration, I do also want to recognize our Murray State partners, an incredible pathway celebrating the incredible work being birthed here at the college. I would also note that we recently concluded our 6th annual Regional Educators Awards, another testament to our commitment of recognizing the important work that occurs from K through 12. As they say, the acorn never falls too far from the tree. We hear cliches like it takes a village. Well, a lot of that certainly occurs not only in our homes, but what happens within our K through 12 institutions. So today we're going to celebrate the ribbon cutting for the Education and Discovery Center. And what exactly is the Education and Discovery Center? It's a designated classroom for WKCTC students studying to teach early childhood through high school, birth through the 12th grade right here. It's a state-of-the-art facility that would help combat a national teacher shortage, right? A lot of urgency around getting committed teachers into the classroom. It's an incredible opportunity for our students, though, with learning opportunities through technology, innovation, and networking as they develop their professional skills to meet the industry standards in the workforce. I would want to pause as we look at this beautiful layout, this state-of-the-art classroom, to recognize Shay Nolan, our VP of Operations, and his team of really bringing all of this together in terms of the physical aesthetics. Thank you so much, Shay, and all that you do. Well, no, it gives me great pleasure to introduce really our featured speaker this morning. I've heard of her, the First Lady. 33 years. 33, it's a true story. December 29th. It's the ADT commercial, by the way, where the guy is locked out and he says, "Honey, what's the code?" She goes, "It's our anniversary." The next scene, whoop, 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 whoop. But I remember, it's December 29th. You know, one of the, among many attractions to the First Lady, really is the intersection where, her passion and commitment, as I would say, is the little ones, right? Birth through K-12. And I've always focused more so than at the college level. And as some of you know, certainly those either married to educators, you pretty much are as deeply immersed into their challenges, opportunities, struggles, insights as it pertains to this incredible work. And so I'm incredibly thankful and appreciative to the First Lady for me learning a lot through that K-12 lens. I mentioned earlier too, the Original Educators Award, one of the core awards in there is the Unsung Hero Award. And the genesis behind that is also the incredible sacrifice that she has put forth over many, many years, being able to do this important work and for me being a big part of that. So I'm very thankful, honey, for you to continue to inspire, even in retirement, still actively engage in supporting these sort of efforts. So with that, please give a warm welcome to the First Lady of WKCTC, my wife, and First Lady Cornelia Reese.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Reese. I was listening to you, and I started the thing when he said 33 years. I thought, I started in this field just shortly after we moved here. So I was in the field for a little over 30 years, and I thought, I worked I served 3 schools in the Paducah system. That was 2 elementary and Paducah Head Start. And then we moved to Tennessee, and I was served 14 schools in Tennessee. But then I thought he left out one important thing. Uh-oh. I started when I was a baby, just in case you was wondering, okay? I just want to make sure I clarify that information. Congratulations to Greta Henry and Pat Blaine and to all the educators, students. This is a wonderful day. And let's just give a hand to them first before we go any further. This is a celebration. I know that you put in a lot of time, a lot of work, and I thank you for letting me be a part of the celebration. So congratulations again. I'm not going to be here very long, just for a couple minutes, and I wanted to talk about advocacy. The reason why I want to focus on advocacy because I worked outside of the classroom. And when I worked outside of the classroom, advocacy was very much an important part of what I did. I worked indirectly and directly in advocacy. And I know what the meaning of advocacy is because in advocacy, as a Family Resource Center coordinator and as a policy council member, we recognize that advocacy is when you make sure that all the voices are heard when decisions are being made. Let me say that again. You make sure that all the voices are being heard when decisions are being made. So I very much, and when I started, I ran with that advocacy definition. But then something happened, and if I could just tell this little short story, it won't be long, but I'll tell you a little short story. At the beginning of the school year, all the educators that are in here, you are familiar about this. There's an open house or opening for the school staff. And all of us get together, and there's usually some type of lunch they provide, and then we all go into the Paducah Tillman High School auditorium, where this year, before the opening, they provided us with a book. And the book was named Ruby Payne, Bridges Over Poverty. And I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with that book. Some of you guys have read the book. Some of you guys have went to workshops. And I had an opportunity even to go to Atlanta to go for a week training. So we're familiar with the book. But on that special day, the speaker was the late Rita Pearson. And I don't know if many of you guys have ever had the opportunity to be in presence of Rita Pearson, but let me tell you, she was something. I was captivated by her presentation. She was one of those that just suck you in, every word you want to listen to, everything she had to say. I remember we laughed out loud, tears was rolling down my face, and when I looked around, other people were having the same type of experiences as I did. But she was talking about something that was very, very special. When she said that she has a charge for us. You know, she went through all about the reason children weren't learning, the poverty and all this stuff. They put a challenge before them. But she said that each one of us have a responsibility. No matter what your position is in this district, all of you guys have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to be a champion for your students, to be a champion for your student. And I thought about that for a minute, be a champion. I'm going to go back a little bit and talk about advocacy. We know that advocacy in early Head Start, early childhood, early education is something that is just built in. It's just part of the DNA of early education, early childhood education. I like to say they was probably one of the leading movement of being an advocate in learning institutes because it was just part of their program. And so in developing early education advocacy, they brought in all the stakeholders. All the stakeholders had a voice. The children, the parents, the teachers, and community. They all had a voice in the advocacy of it. And so when I went to this training session, I already came with that background. And so when she said that we all must be champions, I thought about that. And she went on to say that, you know, no matter what, our children come from all over the place. You know, they come in all different sizes, all different shapes. They all come from different backgrounds. And many of them would not have the same type of experience that we did as growing up. So, but no matter where they are at, what they bring to you, you have to be their champion. So then I took that a little bit farther as I continued on. I left. Not only do we have to be the champion for the student, but we can also be the champion for the parents. Because we know that lifelong learning doesn't stop once they leave the school building, that it continues in their homes, and that we got to be partners with the parents at home to make sure that that continuous learning does not stop. So I took that information, I went back and I said champion. And I remember, from growing up, I grew up in a basketball family. Can you tell by my height? Well, I grew up in a basketball family, and I have two brothers, and as soon as they could put a ball in their hand, they start playing basketball. So from childhood through middle school, through high school, through college, and my dad coached basketball also. So I went to a lot of basketball games, okay? I even played a little basketball just for a short time. For some reason, I got the height, but not the skills. I don't know what happened there. But no, we went on. I found other things that I could achieve at. But I learned from being a part of a basketball family, I learned what it took. Not what champion means, but what it took to be a champion. And some of the things that it took to be a champion, and this is something I heard over and over again, that you have to work hard. You got to go that extra mile. You put in the time. You got to have the heart. You address your weak areas and work on it to make it better. And I thought about that in advocacy. And I realized that they go hand in hand. Advocacy, you can be a champion, no matter what you call it, we have a responsibility to be there, be the voice for those at the table so that they can make sure that their needs, that their education, that their journey is being heard. A lot of times during my career as being advocacy at working in Family Resource Center, I found my time that knocking on a lot of doors, but that's part of being an advocacy. I found my time going to a lot of meetings, not because that was my job, but because a parent had asked me to be at the meeting with them. That's part of advocacy. I found my time, a lot of time, seeking resources that I could bring back so the teachers and the students and the parents could have the information, have that resource within the school. So I spent a lot of time looking for resources that can be used, not only for in the classroom, but also for the parents to have in their home. And advocacy means sometimes, there's issues that occur, children not getting to school on time or not showing up on time. And so you go knocking on the door to find out what's going on. But believe it or not, this is part of my definition for advocacy. I remember one time I was standing at the door and I went in and I seen she had some of the children ready, but the daughter was not. She had worked overnight. She was just going on. There's a lot of different things were going on. And I told her, I said, listen, we got to get these kids to school. Where's the comb and the brush? And I comb this girl here. That's advocacy. You making sure that they get to where they need to be, okay? And so advocacy in my lifetime has run the gamut. But one thing that has not changed is that advocacy is as important thing as it is important today. Advocacy still needs to be on the table, that you need to be present, that you need to be the voice. So advocacy doesn't stop there. So I'm almost at the finish. So my work as an advocate or as a champion had to include building relationships, seeking resources, building partnerships, providing opportunities for growth, and being the voice for the stakeholders. And what's so beautiful about being an advocate is that you're not there by yourself. It's a team effort. It's the educators. It's other parents. It's the administrators. And that's what makes it work. So whatever you may call it, you can call it advocate, being an advocate, or you can call yourself being a champion. Some people may even call themselves being a fighter for the cause, no matter what you call it. I just think today is a celebration because being an advocate, you have set the position in this location that you could continue to build on being an advocate. And that's what is so important. So thank you for being that part. Thank you for investing in the educators. Thank you for making sure that advocacy stays strong. Thank you.
right, again, thank you all for coming this morning. Before Professors Henry and Blaine tell you how much an impact this space has really had on their students this past semester, I do need to take just a couple minutes to be sure that we thank everybody that's involved here. So first off, I really do need to thank Dr. Reese for his support of this initiative. As Mrs. Reese said, investing in early childhood education, investing in K through 12 education, that really takes vision and leadership, and it's something that's overlooked, I think, in the community, because it takes a lot to invest in something that you're not going to see until 20 years down the line when that investment really pays off. So I think investing in early childhood, investing in K through 12 education, doing that is where we're really going to solve all these problems of public health, of social mobility. So investing in this is extremely important for us as a college, and I truly believe it's one of the best things we can do for our region and for the state. But it took a lot of work to get here. So I do need to thank again Vice President of Operations Shay Nolan and his whole M&O maintenance and operations team. We need to thank Clay Reichert and his crew of IT wizards who make all this actually function and work. We need to thank Professors Blaine and Henry for their vision on this. We also need to thank the Office of Academic Affairs for their support through the whole process. And last but not least, our administrative assistant, Nancy Draffin, who always keeps the wheels from falling off our school bus here. And with that, let's give them all a good round of applause. Turn it over to Greta Henry, please.
Well, thank you, Dean Shirley, and I'm going to pass it on to you because you did such a great job with yours, and I'll try to do something with mine. But Mrs. Reese, you're amazing. You're such an inspiration, and that's why when we were planning this, I was like, Dr. Reese, I really want your wife here. He's like, what about me? So, but I love the story you told, and I was very fortunate to meet Ruby Bridges. And the only thing, when she started her speech, she said, I hated that my mama made me wear that yellow coat. So that's one of my memories of Ruby Bridges too. But I stand with all of you in this room, but is it really a room? To our students, all the education students, it's about an experience. It's a space, but it's designated to taking theory to the level of understanding and implementation in their teaching practices. Think of it kind of as a lab of learning. Thus the name emerged, Education Discovery Center. For the education students, the classroom brings together the materials, the networking, the discussion, and project-based learning, giving them more effective skills as they move into the classroom. We need to practice what we preach. We need to, be networked together. Most of our rich learning is coming from that discussion that happens here in this classroom. In early childhood, I'm going to speak a little bit about early childhood because that's my world. Play is the way, and so many of my partners out here understand that. And my buddy Fred Rogers once said, play gives children the chance to practice what they are learning. And this space gives our students that ability to play and to learn. Early childhood is a time to build that foundation for all future learning. Say that again, the foundation. You can't start with a house with the second floor. Same way with education. It starts with our early childhood educators here. It's a critical time of development, birth through age 8. When all those brain connections are being made. Are any of my science folks out there, okay, who understand that whole synapse, brain connection kind of thing? But it's also a time of positive transition to their elementary years and beyond. I heard a statistic last week when I was at the Early Childhood Institute put on by the Governor's Office of Early Childhood, and it said, the speaker said that it takes 300 repetitions to make a concept stick, but in play it only takes 10. So again, bravo to the students who understand the theory and the value behind play. All learning starts in early childhood. What an inspiring time for our students to make a difference in the lives of children. But our students also work with families, they work with the community and the profession in inclusive settings. The first 5 years have so much to do with how the next 80 turn out, according to Bill Gates and to Dr. Reese and Britton Shirley, who said the same thing. So, see, you could have coined that phrase too. The early childhood program began at WKCTC 11 years ago with our first 10 students. I am so excited to say that our first graduate is in the audience. Ashley, where are you? I told you I'd call you out. She is our first graduate. Our first graduate of the transfer program, Morgan, she didn't know I was going to call her out. She's in the audience too, so that's really exciting as well. But we joined Professor Pat Blaine expanding the education pathway here at WKCTC. The program maintains steady enrollment, with the major being declared by over 100 students yearly. The program has reached the milestone of national accreditation. That is a huge feat for our early childhood educators across the nation. And we are accredited through the National Association for the Education of Young Children. We built partnerships with Murray State with the 2+2 program. I'm excited to see Dr. Amy Gruber and Dr. Jessica Branch in the audience too, who they hear me whining often. What do I need to do here? And Professor Blaine as well, to help the transfer process be smooth. We forge relationships with community partners. I am blessed to have an advisory board of so many of you who are out here in the audience today that really help to impact the program here and what we do. What does the industry need? That's what we're here about. We want our students to be strong as they go into the industry. And we've also offered early childhood education scholarships each year through the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority. That's an amazing feat as well. Debbie Sisko mans that as the PD coach. The classroom fills a critical role in the accreditation process. The support from Dr. Reese, the inspiration of Mrs. Reese, the hard work of Dean Shirley, and Dr. Kate Sen, are you here too, who we've wandered this campus thinking, where could a space be? And, and saying, no, not that one, no, not that one. And then Shay Nolan, who when we walked in here, he said, you want this? And I was like, yes. We can do this. We can transform the space. Dennis Dickey and Russell Thompson, who was here before too, and I don't see the M&O person in the audience, but I offered to pay their chiropractic bill because of all the things they had to lug out of here to get this space to where it is today. I'd especially like to thank my colleague, Professor Pat Blaine. She's the creative talent in how everything got arranged in here. I couldn't have done it without her. But I also have really enjoyed the collaborative partnership that we now have, making it seamless from early childhood through the high school partnerships. So again, thank you to Pat Blaine. And if you want your house decorated or any of your classrooms rearranged, please go to her, not me. So as instructors, we're building the skills of our essential workforce with the resource available here. But that's what WKCTC does. It sees the vision. It understands the industry. All of my colleagues out here, you see what the students need. We get that support from the college. I've never worked anywhere where I've gotten the support that sees the vision and makes it, transforms it, that's Pat's word, into reality. So again, thank you for all of you out there. But when I look in this room and I look at the students who come in here, I see active learning. I see curiosity. I see their sense of wonder and innovation as the students start to apply the course material into their teaching practices. I purposely have office hours in this space, and it's so fun to see the students coming in and out, working on their projects, and, oh, where's the glue, where's the paint, you know, and just kind of networking together, because that's making them stronger characters as they go into that educational field. They understand that if you want to get children to move mountains, you got to get them out of their seats first. So I'd like to introduce Jocelyn Tovar. She's the president of the Early Childhood Educators Club and a student that has experienced the old with the new, and to give you all a true meaning and the impact of the environment as the third teacher, because that's exactly what this is here, and how this environment and the networking and what happens here can move the profession forward thanks to WKCTC's mission to support all students. So not all people have, or not all superheroes have capes. Many have education degrees. With that, I'll turn it over to Jocelyn.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jocelyn, and I have the privilege to speak on behalf of the other students that have gotten to experience this awesome upgrade in our classrooms. From our four gray walls with a few tables out in the Anderson building, to our now huge room with a bright yellow walls and plenty of tables, even some extra in the back to do our projects, with cabinets full of what Miss Greta likes to call our toys, and even our own study corner. When the classroom was over in the Anderson building, there was not much student life that I knew was happening. Personally, I would just rush in and out of my classroom and move on with my day. Now I can stay here, study, go over to the student center and get some food and finish my homework. So I thank you and everyone that has made that made this happen for this huge upgrade, and continue to help the students succeed in all that they do.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today with us. Thank you, Greta. It's my pleasure to have the honor of working side by side with Greta. I cannot sing her praises enough for the dedication she has for the students at West Kentucky and the IECE department and the councils on which she serves, from KCTCS all the way to the governor's office. She's a very hard worker. And I would also like to thank my esteemed Murray State colleague, Dr. Amy Gruber, for being here today. She and I work very closely together, emailing back and forth, because we want our students to have a very seamless transition from this college to hers. So thank you, Amy, very much for all your support and knowledge. And it's through this 2+2 articulation agreement between West Kentucky and Murray State University that education students can get their AA or AS degrees at West Kentucky and seamlessly transfer to Murray State Paducah or even the main campus. Students who wish to become IECE, elementary, middle school, or special education teachers can acquire their 4-year degree in education within close range of home and at a reasonable price. Our local schools need these homegrown teachers. So I would encourage each of you, if you know anyone who is interested in teaching, if they even mention that word, please send them to us. They will receive a high quality education both here and at Murray State. And Kentucky is in critical need of teachers at this time, and so we can address that need by our students. And I'd also like to thank all of my students who you will see out in the hallways and here. They are a great bunch of students, and thank you for your work today. I really appreciate it. Every teacher has at least one story of a meaningful event in his or her career, and the designation of this room for the purpose of teaching future educators has certainly been a pinnacle in mine. This opportunity provided Professor Henry and myself a chance to dream about what the ideal classroom should look like, what activities we wanted to provide in this space, and what that space needed to contain in order to make those activities happen. And I believe that there are 3 concepts that best describe our goal: a welcoming space, flexibility, and high tech. A year ago in the spring of 2022, Greta and I finally had the room cleared out enough so that a redesign could begin. And the first stage was to paint. I still had a few old couches and a couple of old tables and chairs that were left in the room. So I invited a class. It was the end of the semester, and I invited a class to come over and have class here in this space. And as they were walking in the door, one of them almost screamed, "What a happy place." And I knew then that we were on the right track. And as you can see, we wanted movable furniture that can literally be reconfigured to fit almost every need that is comfortable and also durable. And this variety of furniture allows for different types of projects: teamwork, study groups, conferencing, and all of those could be done simultaneously if needed. And we're certainly high tech. You will note that we have with us today in the back, although they don't have their cameras on, but students who can see and hear our presentation today. Our need for this technology has accommodated students who are out sick or who are out of town and who still wish to attend class. And I've had many of those happen this semester. It's given Professor Henry and I the opportunity to observe, well, not me, but Professor Henry, the opportunity to observe IECE student teachers at a distance, even as far away as Iceland. And the technology has allowed us to have guest speakers in real time who might not otherwise been able to be with us. And finally, we've given our students opportunities to learn how to use this technology and be better prepared for the workforce and education. So from the bottom of my heart and from those of our students, I would like to thank Dr. Reese, Shay Nolan, and Dennis Dickey for making this dream come true. And I would also like to thank Dickey, I can't remember his last name, from maintenance, who never rolled an eye when I came in almost on a daily basis to say, no, can we do this? Yeah, I like that, you know. He never rolled an eye. He just, okay, and did whatever I asked him to do. It was wonderful. So to us, this room is perfect, and we hope that you all have enjoyed seeing the fruition of our dream today. And we thank each of you for sharing this time and space with us. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you Amy Hamilton, who is the president of the Aspiring Educators Club. Amy?
Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Amy Hamilton. I am a student here at West Kentucky Union Technical College. I've been studying here for the past 2 years in education program with a focus on elementary education and learning behavior disorders. This May, I will be graduating from here and transferring to MSU at Paducah campus with Dr. Gruber. Starting this fall and pursuing my education. My education department professor, Ms. Patricia Blaine, asked if I would come talk to you today. I am grateful for this opportunity of sharing my story with y'all about this classroom and how it is meant to me in the education program here at WKCTC. I want to express my gratitude to Ms. Blaine. She has been a wonderful teacher and a role model for me and my peers. Sorry. We appreciate everything she has done to help us pursue our educational goals. I remember my first day in the education program and walking down the hallway and seeing all the beautiful bulletin boards. The moment I walked into this classroom and looked around, it brought me back to my elementary school days. I like the bright colored walls and the decorated bulletin boards that said welcome. There's this reading area with couches and shelves full of children's books waiting to be read. I've had this feeling of happiness and joy in my heart being in this classroom. I love the positive environment it provides me every day I come to class. It has helped me grow and learn as a future educator. As an education major, being able to have this opportunity joining the 2+2 education program here at WKCTC has been a wonderful experience. I love how students can come here and then transfer to a four-year college to pursue their education. I feel very fortunate to have been able to attend classrooms here. I believe it will be a useful tool and help prepare for future educators. Me and my classmates want to thank Ms. Blaine, Ms. Henry, and Dr. Reese, and everyone else who has worked on making this classroom possible. Without you, it would not be here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those powerful remarks. I thought I was the only person that Pat Blaine made cry, by the way. I digress. In a different way. Well, now it's the magic time for the ribbon cutting. I'm going to need some assistance here. Tammy, somebody, got scissors. And we're going to have you to join us.
Let me get on the other side.
I'm going to get Ms. Reese to help me cut.
You know, because his fine motor skills need help.
Greta, where are you going to be? Greta? You don't have to join hands with me. You ready? One, we're going to be with them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, heart.
I know he has the closing remarks, so I don't mean to trump you, but I'm kind of bossy like that. No, but anyway, all the community partners that are here who have been so instrumental, I did forget to say this, but we have Easter Seals here, we have Martha's Agape here, we have First Christian here, we have so many of the community partners who play care. I'm sorry if I forget everybody, but they're the ones that are helping to mentor our students because they all have to do field work. They have to go out in the field. And if it wasn't for them building this program here to make it strong and help our students out in the field before they actually get there, and they're all employers of our students too. So I never have a student that graduates that doesn't have a job. So that's a lot to be said. So again, thank you for the community partners who are here and for all of my division who has heard me whine about having a classroom for a lot of years. And I also forgot to thank Dr. Aiken, who I don't have to write it in my 5-year plan anymore in Weave, you know, because it's here. So again, thank you for the community partners who are here too. And now you can have the podium.
And I always have to have the last word. Sorry. The other people that I forgot to thank were all the faculty members who help my students, because I send them your way, whether it's American government or biology or English, all of the many of you who have the education students who are so critical in helping them learn the information that they need to know to pass their praxis exams, because that all comes from general education courses. So thank you very much for being here and for helping my students.
Last word?
You may, yeah.
Well, congratulations again, Professor Henry, Professor Blaine. Thank you again, Connie, First Lady, for your remarks. Certainly each and every one of you. You know, the 20th anniversary certainly will be continuing with different events. This again is one of those signature events that we want to celebrate here at the college. You know, and as we close, we've mentioned the students a couple times, but if we could have the 2 graduates, the alumni to come work their way towards the front, the 2 alumni graduates, and the students in the hallway. Let's bring some faces. All your students, come on, they want to see who we're talking about. Let's get them right in here. This is what it's all about, right? All the students, yes. All the students. This is my group flow on in. Keep the applause going. This is good. This is the next generation. This is innovation. This Education Discovery Center, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. This is that moment. Thank you all for choosing your course of study. You are that next generation of educators, K-12. It is still study finals week, so go to class after this event and pass. And some of you will be graduating. I look forward to seeing you all in May. With that, thank you all so much for your attention and time being here today as we continue this journey with the Education Discovery Center. Thank you all so much. Thank you. That concludes our event. Thank you all.